Hey guys, welcome back. Just jump in, start another video. Continue the build on the Aerodrome Aeroplanes 1916 full-size Rotec 2800 powered Sopwith Camel. Enjoy the video. Alright fellas, so if you've just jumped on board, Scott Matthews building this kit at the Latrobe Valley Airport in Victoria, Australia. All going well. I'll show you what I'm up to. Alright, skipped ahead a bit. I made up another full rib, and you can see I've put that basically 4 inches away. I had these trim pieces supplied with the kit because I haven't got a big guillotine. I could access one, I guess, but working with what I've got. Now I'm going to do that strap all the way around. That just gives me a surface for my anchor nuts, because if you're not aware, this big gap all the way down, and you've got 4 inches here. So I'm going to fill that with a nice fairing. I'll do it now, so I'm not trying to do it on a pretty aeroplane when it's all painted. Sort of a bit of a distraction. I want to get onto the leading edge sheeting. I'll get this done first. So I've knocked up 2 ribs this morning with my boards on the wall over there. All goes pretty simple. Alright guys, just racing out to the airstrip. The Sabre's just coming back from an air show. It's just on final, so I'll try and film that for you. You may not be able to see it. It's directly above that HEMS 2 hanger, the white hanger, but you'll definitely hear it. That's the best zoom I got. No, missed it. Alright, I'm no expert. Take 2 on the Sabre. From what I understand, it's a pretty short strip here for a Sabre. Obviously he didn't have that last one right. Here he is over the hanger. A little bit lower this time, looks a bit better. He needs all the strip he can to pull up, obviously. He's down on the brakes. Beautiful, what a machine. Alright, as the Sabre taxis back in, that was cool. Love seeing that. What I'm checking here, just with a straight edge, is the lay of the fabric. I'm just being careful. I don't want, this can sort of bulge out so the fabric will go around it. What I want is 100% coverage on this bit of metal. If it starts to lean in, you'll get that gawky edge where it sort of sticks to the high spots and not the low spots. Just a little thing that I'm trying to keep an eye on, because I noticed, well there you go, up there. So I need to twist this up a bit or do something, and we'll get to that. Right, so I've got that panel on. It looks pretty good actually. It's not about the looks though. It's basically, that's just going to give me an area that I can put anchor nuts anywhere I like, and a nice shroud will close up this gap nicely. I'm thinking of when I snip this off, when this gets cut off here, I could use this piece, rivet it to the panel, and it might just slide over the existing trailing edge, if that makes sense. Have a bit poking out, it'll just slide on, and that'll retain the trailing edge, maybe with a bolt or whatever. Anyway, fair bit of work in that, as you can see. Underneath too, laying on the floor, chewing on swarf. And up the front I need about a 4-inch piece just to finish off that front section. I'll cut a nice piece and do a nice little overlap before I continue to drill those ones out. I was looking at whether I need a triangle gusset. be in the corner of the wing. It's got a bit of flex up and down, but left and right it's solid, so I'm pretty happy now that the covering shouldn't distort this, I wouldn't think. So the covering's going to come down and around here, around the tubes and everything, so it'll be all bagged up if you like, and then the panels will just be cosmetic. But I want to get that done now. And then I think I have to take the kick panel off just so I can get the drill vertically down up the front there and also the wing leading edge sheeting can overshoot a bit, and then I can just mark it on the rib from the underside. Why make it hard on myself? So they're 4 foot pieces, which unfortunately end about here somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I think I get 2 full pieces, so it's about 8 feet to about here, and then it gets busy. I could potentially just run come around the front here. I think my 8 feet piece will end up there, and then I could potentially just run a smaller piece just with slots in it as opposed to holes around each, and then have the next piece slotted as well. And yeah, this better be like a 3 foot piece with just two slots in it if you like, and then slots coming the other way. It'll just mean it'll need, the overlap will be on the rib. So thinking out loud, I think that's where I'll go. Also played around with, I want to make my wing struts thicker, so 4 inches as opposed to 2-inch tube. I'm not sure, but I think when it's together, all said and done, the wing struts will look like toothpicks. You know, on the real aircraft, they're fairly substantial, almost cricket bat size. So 4-inch. That's just some flashing folded up. And I just played with the aluminium tape, which actually works really well, to hold it on there. And because what I plan to do with those, I'd still put a couple of rivets just so it doesn't end up in someone's backyard. But you know, a rivet every probably 300 spacing or something silly, maybe 4 rivets. Because once again, you know, I don't want to drill too many holes in my wing struts, even though I've got some down the bottom here. So yeah, even if on my folder, which is 2 feet, I think that's 1100. I measured it last night. So I need, say, 3 pieces, I think. I can do a little join just here with the aluminium tape as well, because then I'm going to wrap these. I'm going to make them look like wood. So they're going to get a wood grain wrap put on those, and the ends will be matte black. So the end will be tapered, obviously not way up here, but sort of just there to follow the cable. I'll just taper each one as they enter or exit the airframe, or enter the airframe, like up here. Little taper, and then that'll be matte. Paint that matte or satin black I've been using, and then mahogany or hardwood, whatever I can find in a wrap. All right, taking the kick panels off for now so I can get a drill down vertical. Yesterday, got my 2 root ribs, double root rib if you like, all in and clecoed. Just leaving this bit so the leading edge will go over the top, and I'll snip off the excess. What I'm playing with now is just how I'm going to cut the, oh, it's craft time again, how I'm going to cut the leading edge and how it's all going to fit. Excuse my daughter's drawing on my cardboard. So, start with a hole. First hole is a given. I need to trim the leading edge sheet. It's not a, it's like a slight curve at up the top there to follow the root rib. And that'll go something like that. Now I'm just working out this bottom corner. I don't want to have an edge poking up. I don't want to rivet too close to this bolt. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. So So we might have to just get crafty with it, and so the skin needs to be on this rib. So the rib comes down here. Then do I do a funky piece? Then this corner's not going to sit in nice. Maybe I just do that. Well, and that corner's going to be useless. Probably need to just do that, don't I? Let's get the scissors. So if I cut that corner out altogether, and we do something a little bit neater than that. We have a rivet in the rib where I can get to, there. And so 3 rivets. I think that's going to have to be the way we go. Sort of nibble the corner off. And then I can start my first rivet 10mm from this edge. Okay, I think I'll do that. Okay, I just have to find centre. Just mark that. And then scratch it. Gives me a centre line, rough. There's a better centre line without mucking around with the camera. So this bolt doesn't look like it's on centre, but it is. I measured it all up. Now with a better template, lashed out, a new bit of cardboard. And I use my 10mm line, is going to be my rivet line. So the 10mm line goes on the centre line. So that'll go there, something like that. Just so that if you remember back, we folded the leading edge sheeting, so it tucks in nice, just so it's just past centre. And now I just need to work out, get that a bit neater around there, and we've got to go west a bit. I'll play with that before I go cutting up my aluminium sheet. Alright, so that'll go on there. Cut myself a cheeky little window that I can find centre. And as we say, do what you got to do. Find the hole. And I've got centre out here. It'll line up. And that basically follows the rib. It'll give me a rough cut. I'll probably add 1/8 of an inch to that. And then once it's all on and clecoed, I can mark the back and trim it off. But that'll be the root section of the skins, and it works for both sides. So we'll cut that out, whack some skins on. All right, so the first wing skin is on. Considerations there, there's no wing joins. I'm not going to, like up the top, you have to be careful not to rivet where the wing separates. I hope I haven't done that. We'll find out when we rip it all off. And got that in. You see it's nicely on centre. Now I might do both sides at the same time, just because they're identical. So now I know why it's still fresh, what I did in that corner. Flip it over, do exactly the same on that one, and away we go. So the plan there is obviously you get the leading edge all standing up, then some tie down straps, and we'll just work out our overlaps. I'll probably only do to here today, or another 4 feet, wherever that ends, probably there I think. And then we've got some serious thinking to do, boys. All right, so got 2 sheets clecoed on. Good looking rooster. Not sure about this yet, but anyway, I'll use I think that's an efficient use of 2 4-foot sheets. And then I've got another 4-foot sheet to get funky with around here. If you see these black marks, I think I showed you how I just find centre on the tube. This is where the sheet will end. Hold it on centre, bang, pop it. And I've clearly marked each sheet. Just simple stuff. I like the masking tape. One, because what I'm going to do now is wash off all that ink and all my, you know, any texture marks, they'll all get washed off. This won't, well, it tells me not to wash around that. And then I'll leave a little tag, so you're not spending 10 minutes trying to get your masking tape off. Just fold it over at the end. We're at that stage, do whatever you have to do to get the job done. I've got a 20mm, these sheets are different widths, but anyway. I've got a 20mm overlap. So what I'm thinking, and I learnt from the top, if one of them is down, you're sort of riveting into nothing. So what I'm getting at, I'm either up like this, I might put a bit of plywood on the back and cliquet now to sort of make that one piece and then roll it back. I don't know if that'll help me or hinder me. End of the day, it's just a few 16th holes, and then if I lay it all back, does that make sense? It should stay as one. I'd like to think it would. Because up the top, where I did up there, where I did the joins, you're sort of doing a join in the middle of nowhere. A good time to stop there and take a break. We'll have some lunch. It's actually nice, actually. I can sit down and have some lunch. I don't have to rush off and research something and have a sentence that starts with how does that go. So yeah, sort of know where I'm going now. We'll roll these down. Tie down straps. The only reason for the tie, like you can push it down, no dramas, but the tie, you need like 6 hands. So every rib, there's only 3 in every 4 foot stretch, roughly 3 or 4. Just get a tie down strap, and then it's, you know, what I paid attention to was getting the rib to touch the majority of the area. Then we'll do those fingers again. That worked well for the heat's getting to my tape. For the half an ice cream cone, which goes on here, I've kept the templates. So usually I'll throw those out and have to do it all again, but I've kept the templates. Once I get this rolled down, that'll hover there for argument's sake. Then I can work out, I think I'll be easy on myself and just, you know, slot for this piece and a slot the other way to make another 2 pieces that just slot in together, rather than try and be tricky and it'll still be neat. You don't want it too neat though, because another consideration here is you've got to put the aircraft together when it's all said and done. And this is probably wider at the base with that teardrop bracket that's on there. And you know, you're going to be fishing around in this hole while you're supporting the top wing to get the aircraft together. So might be a little bit generous on the hole, if that makes sense. But then the hole's going to live there. Yeah, I could make a panel, but you know, where do you stop? I guess if you end up seeing a panel there, it means I've botched up the holes in the leading edge skin. And this one will just be wherever it ends up, sort of a 1-inch hole. Now I've solved my problem with this. What I think I'll do is secure this, split pin it, leave it on, and just undo the turnbuckle all the way. I know that, you know, in rig I've got no threads showing if you look closely. No threads, so supposedly you wind it back up to no threads, and that's where you're at. Alternatively, I might probably pay to put a bit of paint there or something, and then I know I'm in rig when I put it back together. Okay, I got the tie down straps on. The first sheet will just work in sections, I guess. I'll check underneath, make sure we've got full contact, pin the top, and we'll come back in, and I've got a jig there, my hole finder, to help find these other two. So there'll be 3 rivets coming down. I'll move this sheet to be on top, purely so I'm not trying to pull down 8 feet piece at once. Right, so this part here gets a bit funky. So I've made up my paper template, and that'll sort of go on like that. So I'm hoping I'll slit the metal there and there. I have made another bit of cardboard, and I don't want to slit the front because that's the tight radius, and I know what'll happen. It'll opera house out sort of thing. So then I was going to do a long slit down the back, but do that flat on the bench to start with and have it all clecoed, like a zipper if you like, and then uncleco it, put it on, cleco it back, rather than try and drill it and cleco it under tension. But what I've come up with, I think, is going to work is a slot through here. And rather than try and do this whole 3.5 foot piece, I've just broken it up into sections, and I'll do an overlap on the rib here, and just concentrate on this part. That's sort of just by the wayside, a la all that. So we'll just sneak up on this and try and, first of all, now I'm going to slit the metal. I've cut the first piece. It's hard enough getting the cardboard in and out. So just with the hole saw, started to cut this. I'll file that up, then we'll slit it and try and get it on. See how that works. All right, so I've just made up a little plate. I'm going to cleco that on before I cut it, and then I'll take it off, cut that, and then it all should go back in exactly the same spot, minus the thickness of the blade, and do the same out here. We'll see what happens. I think, well, this one's on a rib, so that one's going to be okay. We'll have the rivet each side on the rib, and then the overlap, we'll clean that up. It's just this little gap in here, because I don't want it to sort of, it's going to be a nice radius. If it's slit, it's going to open up like a peach. So you're probably all wondering why I don't just disconnect the turnbuckle rather than slit the metal. I can't take this off because it's all in rig and holding the top wings up. So I need to slit this one anyway, and then this is holding the bottom wings up, which holds the top wings up as well. And it's all in rig, so I don't want to go undoing stuff just for the sake of a bit of metal to make a cleaner job. Bear in mind, I'm going to have a slit. It's going to be covered in fabric anyway, so you never see it. The illusion will just be 2 nice holes, if you like. That's what we're chasing, just 2 nice holes as an end result. And voila, that worked. Slid on nicely. We're very tight everywhere, which is okay. This hole looks like it's basically done, just needs a clean up, and I just need to make room probably for the nut, but that's going to be really nice. Happy with how that worked out. It's taken a bit of time, but that's okay. Quality product like this does. All right, a lot of work in that, a lot of head scratching. Seem to have got it on though. Looks good. Not sure about this here. The rivets will have to do a bit of work, but it should clean up nicely. A little bit of filing, like final fit. I'll just go around the head of the bolt just because I can. But that's going to give me a nice clean finish and enough room to get in there. And don't forget, I've got a lock wire this turnbuckle, so I don't want to sell myself too short. A little piece was the go, and guess what, I get to do it to the other side now. Really happy with that. It's turned out nice. Probably hard with all the reflection, but you can see where I'm going with it. And it also ties in the pulley, a couple extra rivets, because that's got a rib with the pulley on it. What I'll do now is I'll do that 3 foot piece out to here, or 2 foot, and then do the other side. All right, so leading edge sheeting on the tip's going to go on. The trick here, I've had these in here for ages. There's 5/16 clecos, 5/1/6 or 3/32, whatever they are, small ones. And The trick is to get the job done without, you don't want to let, I did it on the top wing. If I take them all out, the bow springs away and you have a heck of a time, because you can imagine if it goes twanging in that way a bit against the back wall, for argument's sake, because don't forget it's well built, it's hard to flex, so I had to get a broom handle in there and push the tube forward, and then you've got to make sure that the clecos are actually through the tube. So with hindsight, what I'm doing now, I've always got one cleco on this side left in the tip, and I'm going along using my hole finder. So for those who don't know, just there's already a hole in the spar, so this goes in the back, and then like that, finds the hole, and now I've got those all drilled. I can cleco those and keep my wingtip in position. All right, really happy guys with that. What a great job. All clecoed all the way out. Got to enlarge this hole a bit. Those holes are a bit big, but I can help out with the split pin if I get my finger in there, and if I, do my daily checks. Any black texture that's remaining means that I need to touch it up. And I can just see the little radius here. So that's just the first fit. Obviously they'll all get upsized to 1/8, like up the top wing. I upsize these to 5/32 for the A5 rivets that I use, 5mm. It's all nice and tight and right. Really happy. And that skin's just perfect. Obviously this strut, well, if you don't know, that's got to pull out once I take the bolt out. So I'm hoping there's enough room. If not, we're going to make some room when we pull it apart. Now I just need to go over, well, I'm going to call it a day there, I think. I'm just going to take a break, walk away from it for a minute. Then it all comes back apart, clean it all up, deburr it. I'll get all the ink off this red stuff. Then final rivet it. Is there any reason why we can't final rivet it? I don't think so. This edge in here will need a bit of work. Whether I tap it around or just cut it neat. I've got my jig stuck in the back there, the orange one. Yeah, well, once I uncleco it, I think a cleco's stuck in it or something. But look at that. Do the tips tomorrow. So same process as up there. Make the fingers. So say a 2-inch wide piece, 1 inch under here and 1 inch poking out with fingers on it. Seem to work the best. And then just about 3 rivets to hold the quarter ice cream cone on there, and that'll give it some looks. I'm half tempted to put the wood back on the sides, the kick panels, just because it looks cool. But I think what I'll do next, for a change of pace, I might make a wood seat base. So in the seat can go anywhere on the wood, and I might glue the turtle deck on, just to do something different. That's where we're at the moment. Alright guys, forging ahead. Luckily I had not luckily, I kept the templates from the top wingtips. So I've just cut out my wingtip pieces, 16 thou or 20 thou this is. You can sort of feel it now, get used to this stuff. And the wingtip will go on there nicely, or wingtip sheeting. I've just used scrap metals, hand-me-downs, whatever I can find. I actually went over to the local guys here and got 2 pieces out of the 44-gallon drum, which goes to waste metal. And like for me, that's beautiful stuff. Now I'm just going to make up, out of the same scrap, some strips. So same at the top. I'll have 1 inch underneath, 1 inch poking out, do some slices in it, so all the teeth, because the ever increasing or decreasing angle as you go back there, and the teeth just make it easy for me anyway. And primarily it's just there to, like we said before, stop the covering scalloping. It'll sort of just, you could just cover it like that, but this particular corner right here will just, yeah, and my wooden wedge will come out, obviously. I feel like the tea lady with my little trolley here. I push it from side to side. All right, so I've got my fingers on there. What I'm going to do now, give them a head start. I just bend each tab to the angle that I think it needs to be, and then we'll cleco the wingtip on there, or get it drilled. There we go, one wingtip. Need a little spacer, I think, behind, or a shim, just behind that first rivet, because the double wall thickness disappears. But looking good. Needs a tidy up and a trim like the whole leading edge does, and I'll put a crease here. I'll do the other side, then I'll pull them off and crease them. All right, so I've just got the wingtips done. I've just got because the tube goes from single to double to single. Obviously, I get a bit of a mismatch there. So I grabbed the leftover spar, just cut a couple of chunks out, and now I made up so I got this huge aeroplane here. I'm just sitting here thinking, here I am mucking around with the smallest piece, but it all pays off in the end. So if I can, I'll put the camera down, that piece will slide in there nicely, and then I'll cleco it down. I'll show you the result. Now it all sits nice and flush, billows out a bit here. Yeah, you've got 1, 2, 3 tubes and the radius. I'm a big fan of the car bog, to be honest, but I don't want to go, that probably gathers moisture or some bloody thing. So I will leave that for now. That's the wingtip done. Once again, rough cut in. So I've got this one on. What I did on the top wing, I think I ran around with the grinder with a Scotch-Brite disc in it and just cleaned it up nicely. The tape, the anti-friction or anti-chafe tape, that does a great job of hiding stuff. And obviously I need to fold that edge as well, or do I? It's billowing out a bit. I think I'll fold it. And the left-hand wing, it's always easier doing the second one. It's gone on really well as well. Nice and tight and right with the shim. Well, actually, I'm not sure if I put the shim in there yet. No, I haven't. So I'll put the shim in there and fold that trailing edge, same as to match there. It does give it some stiffness, just a simple little fold, and we are good to go. So that's the trailing edge from one wingtip. Happy with those. Still got some homework to do just here. It's just, well, has the ability to touch. Hopefully those rivets pull up. I won't know until final fit. I I think outboard over inboard for water egress and all that, but it's all going to be covered. But I'll stay to my principles. And a lot of deburring to go for all that to come off. Okay, just been out for a fly, changed the oil on the cruiser, changed the oil every 25 hours, did my leak checks, and went for a spin. It's good, just starting to get bumpy. It's going to be hot today, 36 or something. So, I've got all this to do, but I'm going to have a day off. Sort of sick of looking at metal and clecos. So, I'm really happy with how that's turned out, though. That's really good. But it's Friday, so Little Jobs Friday. There's blue bits of tape. I think I covered that before. I'm going to put a bolt in here with a drilled head that I've got, just here. So one of these guys, if the camera can focus. Anyway, trust me, it's got a hole in the head. And I'll put that in and I'll run a lock wire. I might just bend up the washer here and drill a hole, 16th hole, run a lock wire across, and the back looks like there's a tube I can tie around the tube. We'll do that. Alright, down on my back again, boys. But got that lock wired. Just took me 2 holes. Got one too close. Just bent the washer up just a touch. Now I'll tighten this one back up. Nice and tight. I'm not sure how much you're allowed to have. It's probably 100mm. Looks okay to me. And we've now got that locked. Now I'll move down and do the back one. Alright guys, it's getting hot. I'm just faffing around now, to be honest. Not sure what the next step is, so probably a good time to wrap that one up. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Come back next time and I'll get all the leading edge riveted up and we'll see what we get up to. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much. See ya.